everyone, welcome back to channel that shares knowledge about comprehensive personal development through good books. Have you ever gotten angry over a small thing, and then others say you are too sensitive? You get angry over small things. Do you often get angry over small things that you yourself find strange? Or are you often misunderstood by others but do not dare to express it? Knowing how to silently get angry at the little things in life is not because we are too sensitive or easily angered, but because you do not clearly understand what your needs are and how to meet them. The German psychologist in his classic work The Elephant Hiding Behind the Mosquito pointed out that the cause of our emotions is not small things like mosquitoes but giant emotions like the hidden elephant. Those emotions contain your unmet needs. You often crave emotional stability, but every time you get angry you feel regret and blame. Why do we keep losing control and getting upset for so long? We admire people who rarely get angry. We see anger and irritability as bad and want to get rid of them. Even when we are normally calm, but there are still moments when you can't calm down and you feel broken over and over again, even wondering, am I a bad person? Is there something wrong with me mentally? So then, please don't blame and think that no one will get angry over a small thing because no emotion suddenly appears. When we are angry, frustrated, or worried, it is not because we are hot-tempered. Emotions are simply normal reactions to unpleasant things. What we need to do is not to get rid of the emotion, but to find the elephant behind the emotion, explore our real needs, and take back your own life. This will be the way to help us master ourselves, from there live more peacefully and happily. Let's go on a journey to find the hidden giant emotional elephant inside you. In psychology, needs are a very important concept. Based on Maslow's pyramid of needs, meeting basic needs will include physiological needs such as eating, sleeping, safety needs, and needs for love and belonging, need for esteem, need for self-actualization. These basic needs are the foundation for human happiness. When something is in line with ourselves, we often feel happy because the most important need at that time has been met. On the contrary, when the need is not satisfied, negative emotions will appear. Elephants are the manifestations when your emotional needs are not satisfied. Psychologists have compiled 7 common elephants that are hiding behind our noses. They include: first, I fear losing protection; second, I feel disrespected; third, I cannot set my boundaries; fourth, I want to be respected and appreciated; fifth, I feel like I'm out of place; sixth, I always have to give in; and finally, I feel like no one cares about me. These 7 elephants are 7 typical psychological states that more or less we have experienced at different times. Most of the time, the elephant in you is sleeping, but just a mosquito appears, it will immediately wake up. The mosquito here is small things that will make you burst into strong emotions, such as your parents' complaints, your partner's blame, your boss's criticism, your co-workers' blaming actions, other people's criticism, etc. So how can we find the elephant hiding behind us? First, let's start with the mosquito itself. When bitten by a mosquito, we will feel pain. The pain is a sore spot in the mind. It will activate your self-defense program. This is an instinctive action, and most people do it. Self-defense behaviors are mainly of 2 types, avoidance and attack. Sometimes people often waver between these 2 forms of behavior. If they choose to avoid, they will try to escape a dangerous situation by burying their head in the sand like an ostrich, even though their mind knows that it is futile. For example, to avoid conflict, they take the blame on themselves or unconditionally obey, trying to please the other person. On the contrary, if they choose to attack, human actions are often violent, such as blaming, being cold, complaining, belittling others, or manipulating others to force them to meet their needs. But we need to know that this kind of self-protection often makes people lose their objectivity and rationality, often leading to excessive behavior, anger, and resentment toward others. Why is this so? It's because people often only perceive and handle problems based on their own life experiences. Therefore, here life experience is an extremely important factor to help you realize the giant elephant in you. Life experience is what you have experienced in the past, sensitive parts in you, fear, hurt, expectations about yourself and others, how you protect yourself all originate from here. Gradually they become a part of your heart, causing you to have strong reactions and even overreactions to sore spots in you. These are the basic steps to identifying the emotional elephant lurking within you. However, taking these steps is not easy because each person has their own childhood experience that carries with it trauma, different expectations. To recognize the elephant, you need to go deep into each specific experience. Sometimes with too much pain, you may need the support of a psychologist. I hope today's book can help you start to recognize the elephant through small mosquitoes in daily life, because only when we step out from the first steps can we move on to the next decisive steps. And in the next part, I will share some typical cases so that you can look back at yourself, start the journey of self-healing, self-identifying the elephants lurking inside your soul. Let's soothe the angry elephant, learn how to prioritize one's own happiness. The elephant that is upset often hides behind the mentality that I have done so much, but that person does not recognize my efforts. There is a case that we often see in life living as a couple like this. Anna, a housewife married to Peter for 3 years. The two always had conflicts over housework, because when Peter came home from work, he left dirty socks all over the living room. Peter considered this a small thing like a mosquito, it's nothing to be too heavy about. But for Anna, it actually contains a giant elephant. When she saw Peter's action of throwing his socks around without cleaning up after himself, her first thought was, I am the one who has to clean every time. I am not your servant. Did I graduate from university just to clean your house? In reality, the conflict does not only come from dirty socks, but deeper is the damage, love, and expectation in Anna's mind. Her childhood was pressured and felt abandoned when she had to do housework and take care of her younger sister with the hope of being recognized by her parents. Her habit of self-sacrifice to find this recognition was ingrained in her psyche as an adult. It made her once again sacrifice many of her choices to go to a strange city, marry Peter. Here, she couldn't find a suitable job, she spent all day doing housework and family chores, but her husband didn't share her recognition, and even argued with her. That's why inside her there was always a huge elephant of resentment. In this life, how many people have chosen to sacrifice their hobbies, work, time, and self-control to change their lives for someone? But this seemingly great act of sacrifice can easily become the grave of both of their relationships. There is a saying that too much is bad, just enough is good. Complete sacrifice and complete selfishness can both make a relationship like a tight string is about to snap. So, instead of sacrificing yourself to please others, the best way now is not to stop giving or continue to be resentful, but to prioritize your own happiness and not let it, the so-called obligation, unbind you. Anna learned to express her real needs to her husband, and Peter was ready to support her in spending time and energy carefully preparing to find a suitable job. The couple discussed dividing the housework and spending more time connecting and talking to each other. Anna also took 1 day a week to rest completely without any prior planning, without putting pressure on herself, doing whatever she wanted. In any relationship, don't sacrifice your true self-worth just to get a sense of recognition or the desire to be loved. Learn to prioritize your happiness. It is not selfishness but being true to yourself that can help you be happy. Only when you are truly happy can you build happiness and maintain good relationships from the inside out, be yourself, and also always have peace in your soul. Let's soothe the angry elephant when others do not respect you and learn to love yourself. In the book, there is a case like this. The man named Stepp was angry because his car was scratched. He went to find the other person and argued loudly, but the other person was very arrogant. Although the car was not badly damaged, this anger had been going on for days, and he couldn't stop being upset. The real pain point of Stepp is not the broken car and the other person's indifference, but that he thinks that others need to respect him. The arrogant attitude from the other person made Stepp feel helpless and unable to do anything to change the situation. This reminded him of his own image when he was a child with an inferiority complex because his family had a low status. This lack of self-confidence is ingrained and subconsciously makes him crave recognition and respect from others. He is often used to provoking verbal attacks to win the victory for himself, and he also maintains self-esteem by buying a nice house, car, branded clothes, etc. But no matter how many things he achieves, Stephen still doesn't feel happy because the values he pursues are just a way to hide a painful truth. He has never really loved himself. As psychologist Adler said in the book What is the Meaning of Life? An inferiority complex can be the motivation for a person to rise up and excel, but the inferiority complex makes them lose the meaning and happiness of life. For Stephen, this is an inferiority complex that forces him to live based on recognition from others. This is like a bottomless vase. No amount of water from the outside can ever truly fill it. The anger at the car being scratched is not simply an impulsive reaction, but a sign of a sore spot in Stephen's soul. He needs to realize that his anger is not directed at others, but is actually disappointment in himself, a self that has never healed the wounds of childhood. What Stephen needs to do is not continue seeking respect or recognition from the outside world, but learning to face the pain, understanding that one's self-worth does not come from material things or the attention of others. Only when Stephen begins to love himself, without needing anyone's recognition, could he truly calm the emotional elephant within him. And only then would Stephen no longer use offensive words to fight, win over others, and also no longer have to hold anger over such small things. Let's appease the elephant by being humble to please others, learn to tell the truth. Lisa and her husband live in an apartment. One late night, the neighbor suddenly knocked on the door angrily and said, "It's so late at night, and you're still using a drill." Lisa quickly replied, "I'm sorry, but I don't have a drill," the neighbor said as he walked down the stairs. "If it wasn't for your house, then it's the one below, you're really unconscious." Lisa was so angry that her whole body was shaking. She thought to herself, "I hope she will believe that it wasn't my fault." After that, Lisa couldn't help but complain to her husband. Her husband also felt that her neighbors were being a bit too much and suggested that they meet them tomorrow to clear things up. Lisa objected to the idea but was still so angry that she couldn't calm down. Finally, her sleepy husband said, "Go to sleep." Anyway, nothing happened. In Lisa's husband's eyes, this was just a small misunderstanding. Once it passed, the anger would dissipate. He didn't understand why his wife kept feeling constantly upset. What he didn't know was that this small misunderstanding, like a mosquito bite, had stirred up a wave of emotions as big as an elephant in Lisa's heart. Why, when being misunderstood, was Lisa's first reaction to apologize. After apologizing, she explained that her family didn't have a drill. Furthermore, when the neighbors left, Lisa's first thought was to justify that it wasn't her fault. What is she worried about in the end? Lisa's real fear is that she is afraid of conflict with her neighbors, afraid that person will scold her and not like her anymore. In life, there are many people like Lisa, afraid of offending others. Even if they are upset, they don't dare to speak the truth. They always give in and let things go. Or even if they feel annoyed and don't want to do it, they don't dare to refuse. However, this way of always giving in is also self-destructive. If prolonged, people will either have a violent outburst or fall into a spiral of inner turmoil leading to depression and confusion. So, we must find out the underlying cause of our fear when others are so unhappy. With Lisa, it's because she lacked love and a sense of security from a young age. Her mother was very afraid of conflict with her father, always teaching Lisa that she should not make him angry, otherwise, the whole family would be in trouble. When she was 12 years old, Lisa's older sister, a stubborn girl, was about to be beaten by her father. Lisa used all her courage to stop him, but after this event, she told herself that she could not learn from her sister. She had to give up her ego and follow her father's wishes to be loved by her parents and maintain peace in the family. From then on, Lisa learned how to please her parents to avoid all conflicts. Gradually, her personality of always pleasing others became her instinct, like an immediate apology when it was obvious that her neighbor was slandering her. So, in a similar situation, what should we do to get rid of the psychological insecurity caused by fear of rejection or fear of conflict? First, tell yourself that, now you are grown up, strong enough to hold your own, and you have enough sense of security for yourself. When someone bothers you, be brave and learn to express your anger. Remember to express your anger, not act out angry feelings. Like in Lisa's case, she could show empathy first, then express her anger. For example, the sound of the drill is really loud and reminds me of my last dental visit, but before jumping to conclusions, at least ask if my family is using a drill. However, experts note that expressing your desires to others always carries the risk of rejection or denial. But even if that happens, if you can be aware of your inner strength, That rejection is just like a mosquito bite and no more, not the angry elephant. When doing this, the ego that always seeks the satisfaction of others can truly mature. Don't try to swat the mosquito, hug the elephant. In reality, very few people grow up in a perfect family, and the negative experiences accumulated over time will gradually form a giant emotional elephant in each of us. It can be said that many people are carrying this elephant, shouldering it throughout their lives. It is not uncommon in life for a child to feel that he is being treated unfairly compared to his younger brother, but parents always try to ease that feeling by saying that as the older sister, she should let her younger brother have it. Or a child doesn't want to go to school because of being teased by friends, but parents just simply say, "Just go to school." No matter what they say. When true feelings are not expressed, children will unconsciously deny their feelings. They think that their feelings are wrong and not accepted. They feel they must live up to other people's standards to gain recognition and attention. Gradually, they will stop being aware of their own emotions and will only be sensitive to other people's expectations. The great philosopher Kant once said, "Man is not a tool of others, but an end in himself." The repression of emotions has become a hidden pain point throughout many people's lives. Without the sore spot, Stephen's anger would quickly dissipate because the car wasn't broken anyway. Anna and Peter wouldn't have argued about the sock, but would have discussed their real needs. Lisa would quickly calm down and not lose sleep over the nonsense from the neighbor. And you also no longer waste yourself over the trivial things in life, no longer angrily attack others with words, or be sensitive and avoid all conflicts. Go back to childhood, heal the child who is insecure, sad, awkward, seeking attention and recognition from others. Embrace the child in you tightly, send yourself love and courage, speak the sincere truth to yourself, and develop your own inner value. Thank you for listening. If you found this video useful, please share it with people who need it. Don't forget to give me a like, hit the subscribe button, and turn on the notification bell to watch the latest videos every week. Again, thank you, and see you in the next videos.